Hey everybody, welcome back to Lamson Family Farms. My name is Max and today is Saturday, January 11th. I am going to get started on a new project in the barn, but first I need to unload some feed. So Julie and I just got back from going to get feed. We go to an Amish place to get feed. It is snowing right now. Let's see if we can get this light enough. So we go to an Amish place to get feed. They have a really good deal on feed and it's pretty close to us. It's probably less than 10 miles from here. And I generally go about once a week to get feed. So let me flip you around so you can see the snow. And I also have Ray out right now. She's laying in the hay over there. So Hyacinth is in heat right now. And I've been separating them because we actually almost lost Ray. Would have been Hyacinth's last heat, so about 3 weeks ago. So we had an accident. So I guess I'll tell you guys about that. So 3 weeks ago on a Saturday, it was either Saturday or Sunday, Julie and I were having a very nice quiet morning inside the house, and it was about 9:30. And we looked out the window, and Hyacinth was walking in our front yard, which I thought was very weird. So she had definitely gotten out. So we ran outside and got Hyacinth. And we were like, okay, well, if she's out, where's Ray? And ran around the corner to what I thought was a dead Ray. And in fact, I yelled out to Julia, who was behind me, I said, Ray is dead. And when I yelled that to Julia, Ray picked up her head. And I was like, oh my God, she's not dead. So we ran over. So what happened was, later we figured out was that middle barrier that I've got in their area now, I had put a metal water basin, the one I had actually put out in the field over the summer. I think it's 100 gallons. It's the Tartar metal water trough. I've been putting their hay in it. And I think what happened was when Ray was trying to eat out of it with Hyacinth in heat, Hyacinth tried to mount her and knocked her over into the trough. And then I have a feeling she probably panicked and flipped the trough on its side while her top of her back was in the bottom of it. So she was belly up. And she had, by the time we found her, knocked the fence over. I think we caught her just in time because she scraped her face up. It was bad. So we ran out, tipped her over, and luckily within about 10 minutes, we got her up back onto her feet. She didn't want to get up at first. I think her leg had fallen asleep. But she was very gurgly, but she did not suffocate under her own, gases. So we got really lucky with her. And so now I'm separating them when Hyacinth is in heat. I honestly never thought Hyacinth being a mini and Ray being a standard that Hyacinth could hurt her, but she did knock her over. And we were really worried we would lose Ray's calf because Ray is 7 months pregnant. And she had mucus the first day when we were very concerned about that. But nothing else happened. She's not showing any signs of being sick. It doesn't look like the baby died. So everything is looking good. I'm just separating them now. So long story short, I am separating them. I'm going to unload this feed. So I'm going to the feed store about every week. And I can break it down for you guys. But I think I am pretty much figured out how much the pigs are eating at this point. They go through about 100 pounds of feed every week, about every 5 days. Sorry, they don't make it a full week. And then today I got 100 pounds of pig feed, 100 pounds of all stock, which is what I give to the girl goats. It's like a sweet feed. And then I bought 100 pounds of cow pellets. And so the cows get that and my boy goats get that. They can't do the sweet feed. And then what else did I buy? Cow, pig. I bought one bag of pig pellet. So I got 400 pounds of feed this week. And if you're wondering the price, it was $86. So it's about $20. I can get it for about $20 a bag, $20 for a 100-pound bag, which is a lot better than like going to Tractor Supply. Tractor Supply would be about double that price for that amount of feed. So, and it lasts me about a week. So we generally spend $300 to $500 a month on feed. And that's kind of limiting the feed. I could be going through a lot more feed if I wanted to. Right now, let me just close the door. I don't want to let too much cold air in. Right now, I am feeding, girl goats get some feed every night. And it's not a lot, but let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 out of 9 are pregnant. The pigs get, I need to actually weigh how much the pigs are eating. They get, for my own curiosities, at some point I want to weigh this when it's full of feed. So each pig gets 1 scoop of this in the morning and the evening. So I give 4 scoops of pig food to the pigs every day. The boy goats get some grain at night. I'm not graining the horses right now. The calf gets 1 to 2 scoops of all stock every day. And then the poultry give, feed. The poultry go through the chickens go through a scoop at every feeding. So they get 2 scoops a day. And the ducks probably go through a scoop every 3rd day. And so it does add up. I could be going through a lot more feed if I wanted to. But everyone is pretty comfortable right now. It's been cold too, so I've been giving more feed than I usually would, especially with the girl goats. It is about 20 degrees outside right now, and today is actually kind of warm. We got down into the 7 and 9 range last week. So, and we've been having to defrost a lot of water. So in fact, I've got the heater in the pigs' water right now because their little pig nipples on their bucket were frozen last night. And then we're not supposed to have a day that's above 32 until I think next weekend. Anyway, let me quit gabbing and I'm going to get this feed put up. I'm also keeping an eye on Poe. I put extra bedding down for the boy goats. I'm going to go over and show you. I put down extra bedding for the boy goats this morning because Poe got his head stuck in a hay net the other day and he's just been acting kind of lethargic, which I don't love. And I know I think he's just still cold. He also was not super interested in his grain last night, which is not like him. So I've been keeping a close eye on him. I think they're just cold. It's been cold for longer than I feel like we've had since we moved here. I think he's just kind of feeling it. He might need a blanket today. Let me flip you around so you can see him. So there they are. They're bundled in. I put 3 extra bales on the ground so they can get toasty. And nobody else seems to be that concerned, but I think he's just kind of struggling right now. So I might let me zoom in on him. And there's Annie. And then I've got Morrison behind them. And those 2 boys are doing fine. I just feel like Poe, since he got himself stuck, he's just been kind of struggling. Okay, I'm going to check on the pigs. So they're growing pretty good. I know it's been a while since I've given you guys an update, but they are doing good. Okay, so quick update on the pigs. They are growing like weeds still. This is their little messy corner, but they are doing really well in here. In fact, you can see where they bedded down last night. They've been getting extra hay just because it's been cold, but they're doing really good. So let's see. They are, how old are you guys now? Okay. October, November, December, January. They're about 4 months old now. They've got 2.5 months left. They're going to the butcher end of March. And I'm very curious to see the weights, but I did a breakdown of how much it's going to cost for us to raise them. So, and I think I can remember most of this. So, I guesstimated their weight that they're going to be by the time they get to the butcher. And that's really going to be the thing and they're drinking out of their nipples, so they're defrosted. So I've just done an estimate based on them each being 200 pounds when they go to the butcher. We'll see what their actual weight is at the end of March, but that will give me a good reference point for pigs in the future. So if they both reach 200 pounds by the end of March, we will be receiving 400 pounds of pork. I know that that's not going to be what we get back, but I'm just doing it off of the hanging weight. So we are planning on getting most of it back. Obviously there's like carcass weight, but if we get 400 pounds hanging weight, it will work out to be about $2.65 per pound that we paid into it. So we paid $80 per pig. We got them at 8 weeks old. And they're going through about 100 pounds of feed every 5 days. So, and I'll put my little description of the breakdown at the bottom of this video so you guys can see it, but I typed it up on the computer. But we will go through about 24 bags of feed for them until they go to the butcher. It costs me $20 per 100 pound bag. I am not including the cost of the hay that I'm giving them. And I'm doing that because we had already bought the hay, and like, yeah, I could, if you wanted to figure that in, it's roughly $3 a bale. We had some first cutting really late alfalfa that nobody else likes to eat here. And so it's actually working really well for me because I've been giving it to the pigs as bedding, and they also do eat it quite a bit. So they're going through that. I probably give them maybe 3 to 4 bales a week. I'm just not factoring it in this time because I don't really think that they need it. I think that they just enjoy it, and it's cutting down on my feed bill a little bit. They're also getting our kitchen scraps, and so I'm not factoring that in. It would have been waste anyway, but it certainly is nice to have an animal on the farm now that we can give our kitchen scraps to. Before, we would have given kitchen scraps to mostly the poultry, and they would pick through it, but the pigs are definitely eating a lot of it. Hi, sweetie. They have been really friendly. Hey, are you glad you have water now? Hi. What are you doing? What are you doing? Yes, you pretty girl. Yes, you're so cute. They have definitely been very friendly. I honestly don't go in there a whole lot, but I scratch them over the fence, and I've got the Dutch gate that I've been using. So they like their nightly scratches before we go to bed. And they flop over, for belly rubs. I try, honestly, not to pet them through this cattle panel too much, because if your hand is low, they can pop your arm up, and it's a great way to break a bone. So I try not to pet them through it too much. And if I'm doing it like right now, I'm only putting some fingers. I'm not putting my whole arm in there. So we're just trying to practice good pig safety. They are very sweet pigs, though. So they also I've got this barrel water system in here. This is working pretty good, but I will definitely add either a bigger barrel next time or multiple barrels because they really go through the water. I have to fill it up probably every other day or every third day if they make it that long. And it's really difficult to do that when, like right now, we've had snow and really cold temps for about a week. So what I've been doing is I bring the whole hose in because I don't have water in the barn. I have to hook it up to a spigot probably about 100 feet from the barn. And it's just kind of a hassle just to get all that set up just to fill up the pig's water. So what I've been doing is I fill up the pig's water and then I borrow water from the horses area, which is just like 15 feet from here. And then I just fill up when everybody gets low. And so I haven't factored in the hay. They get the kitchen scraps. So just the cost of feed alone and what we paid for them when they were piglets and then the butcher fee. Sorry, that's the big cost. So we are not butchering them ourselves. It's not that we're opposed to it. It's just that we've got good connections with a local butcher here. Sorry, had to take a quick break for some hot chocolate. Julia brought me some hot chocolate. So, butcher costs. All right, I need to check my spreadsheet, so I'll put the exact figures below. But let me see if I can remember. It's been a while since I did the breakdown. Okay, our butcher charges, I believe it was, I'm going to need to take a look again. I think it was $50 processing fee for each pig. And then I think it's $75 for cut and wrap, for like flat cut and wrap for each pig. We are wanting to do a lot of bacon and sausage, and that's the thing that costs more with the butcher. I think it's, I'll need to look. I can't remember, but we're looking at $300 to $400 for butchering for both pigs. We are getting a discount because one of the pigs is going to be used for the butcher is hosting a 4-H butchering class for kids. We've got a local 4-H group. He's going to host a butchering class, and he needed a pig at the end of March, and so we thought, perfect, that'd be great. So he's giving us half off for that pig, which is wonderful, and we get to support local agriculture. So very happy with that. So yeah, we're looking at roughly $2.65 a pound. We're getting as much of the pigs back as we can. I need the lard. I will probably even request things like the ears and the snouts back, and like all of it. Our dogs love the treats. We love all of the cuts. Like, there's nothing that's really going to be wasted here. We'll even take the organs back because we usually cook those up for the dogs or our poultry. So really not a lot's going to be wasted, which is great. And then we can get an idea about how much pork we will actually go through during the year. So our current plan was that we would raise 2 sets of pigs. So grow them out about 6 months. Do like 1 round in the spring, 1 round over winter. If we end up finding that it's too much pork for us, we're only 2 people, we will probably start selling pork. Because now that I know after this round of pigs about how much it's going to cost, I can get a deposit from people if they want to buy a half pig or a whole pig. And then I will just raise them and sell them in either half or whole cuts. So I think that will work out really well. So far, this has been a great space for them. I think 2 pigs in here is a good amount for the big pigs. I think if we were to do like coonies again or guinea hogs, the smaller breeds, I think we could get 3 or 4. I think 4 would be kind of tight. Might be better for the spring summer round when I have them outside. But I think 2 pigs is a great amount for this space. They've got company. They have enough room that they've got their little poop and pee corner. They've got their bedding area and they've got their feeding area. So they're not just sitting in muck. It's been really nice. They keep their bedding area. If you've had pigs, you know how clean they are. They keep their bedding area super clean. They've got their eating station. They've got where they go to the bathroom, and it's kind of separate in the corner. They don't feel super cramped in here. They're staying nice and warm with this deep bedding. I think they're living a great pig life. They love the kitchen scraps. They love their feed. They get scratches from us every day. They're living a really good life here. We are intentionally raising them for meat. Let me turn you around. They're doing something cute. They're intentionally being raised for meat, and we know where they are going, but we want them to have very happy lives while they're here. So they're probably going to cuddle up. They actually got apples this morning. Apples, leftover dog food, and kitchen scraps. I think there was some chicken in there. So, and then I gave them 2 bales of hay last night, and they had their pig food last night. And they just had water, so I've got their water defrosted now, and I'm going to actually move my defroster to a new area. And they're probably going to lay down in the light and take a little nap this afternoon. So they're doing pretty good. And this one now. This one's been steadily becoming a block of ice. It is nice when you've got temps. It is nice when you've got temps above freezing, like maybe once a week, to get everything thawed. But we've been really cold now for a couple of weeks. And like I said, we've got about another week at least of this. So I think everybody's just cold. They're just kind of over it. Annie, what are you doing? Annie slowly made his way down. I'm just keep my eye on Poe. I am concerned about him. I'm always concerned about Poe. He's so important to our breeding program for the goats. Like if we did not have Poe, I don't know what we would do. In fact, I don't know why I realized this just now. I kept one buckling out of Poe last year. I'm gonna maybe keep more bucklings this year, just as a little insurance policy for him, I think. I've had plenty of bucks to choose from him. We've had how many bucks have we had from him? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've had 8 bucks out of Poe. And I've kept one. I kept the best one, but I only kept one, and I think that was a mistake. So I think this year I'm going to keep more bucks from Poe, and I do have a better setup this year for goats. So I feel like I have more room to keep more boys now that I've got their own area. But yeah, I think I'm going to keep more. So anyway, so it is 2025 now. I feel like, sorry, I'm just cleaning up as I talk to you guys. Trying to get a little caught up this weekend. But I do feel like now that it's 2025, I've got already a couple projects that I need to be working on. I will show you guys everything, don't worry. But the first project that I'm going to be doing is all the projects that I've got on my list so far are upstairs in the barn. One of which I did not realize was going to be a project until I knew it was going to be a project, which was this week. But the other one I've known about for a long time, and I'm glad I'm getting to a place that I can finally start working on it. It is kind of a shame that while I don't have a bunch of outside projects right now and I have time to be doing the projects in the barn, it's been cold enough in the barn that I don't honestly really want to be out here very much. If it was like 30s, fine. When it's 9 degrees outside, you don't really want to be spending a bunch of time in the barn. I don't have a nice wool coat, furry coat like the animals do. But I do have a couple things I need to get caught up on. Like my garbage is full. And it's mostly hay twine. But I've got a couple things I do need to catch up on at some point. But I am thinking that I'm getting close to being able to start the 2 projects. So I figured today I know which one I need to start now. It does tie into the project that I'm going to be working on next with you guys. But I need to get a couple things out of that area. So that's what I'm going to be working on. And that's enough secrets. I'm going to go show you guys right now. I'm going to get this feed covered up and I'm going to get my hot chocolate from, if you guys know, you know. Thank you for my mug. I still use it all the time. Still my favorite mug. I see Poe sleeping. I just kind of wonder if I need to go get him a blanket. I think I'm going to do that. Well, the things we do for our goats. By the way, that ceiling is about 8 feet tall. And yes, he is wearing my jacket. So he was just shivering too much for my comfort level. So he's in here in the goat maternity ward with Onslow right now. Onslow, you want to go outside? Do you want to go outside? Come on, Onslow. Okay, bye. Onslow. Bye, buddy. So he was just shivering a little bit more than I liked. It is warmer in here. It's about 30, well, no, I think it's about 35 in here. It's not quite up to 40 degrees, but it's much warmer than in the main space of the barn. So he's got my little sweater. I also brought in a heater. So I've got the heater on high, and I put extra deep bedding in here. I can feel him shaking next to me. I don't know, he wasn't shivering, but until he got his head stuck in that hay net yesterday. And he's just been acting kind of off since then. So I think that did something. So I'm just going to keep him in here today if he'll let me. If he's not acting too stressed out. I might need to bring Annie in here with him, his buddy. But I'm hoping this will be okay and he'll just lay down for a while. I put extra grain in here so he can have a little bit more fuel. So I just don't want him to get like so far compromised he can't recover. I have not given him anything. I could give him some B12. I have not. I'm hoping he just needs to warm up and then we'll be fine. I could also go get some warm water for him. So I just don't know why he got so thrown off. You know, he's got plenty of weight on him. So, and his coat is really nice and thick. I just don't understand why he's so cold. I mean, there's smaller goats out there with him that aren't cold. So I think something got him the other day when he got caught in that hay net. Will be 3 years old in March. Yeah, and we've had him since he was, I think we got him right about 8 weeks old. He was still on the bottle when we got him. He really is a very sweet goat. He's going to be a big goat. He's not done growing. In fact, we keep saying, you know, everybody has growth spurts, but he had a big growth spurt this last year. He really got more deep in the body, and he's really filled out a lot this last year. So I don't anticipate he'll get much taller, but he definitely has filled out. And we did actually do the weights. I've got him on the board over here. We weighed everybody on 12/25, so on Christmas. And let's see, Poe weighed 154. So he's not the biggest Nubian buck I've seen, but he is still a pretty big boy for being less than 3 years old. And his first daughter will be in milk in March. That'll be Daffy, which is Noni's daughter. And then we're hoping that the 4 doelings that we kept from him from last year will be big enough to breed this fall. So, or maybe like the summer if they're going into heat, and that maybe we'll have 4 more of his daughters in milk by the end of the year. Okay, girl. It's okay, buddy. It's okay. Okay, so I think we'll sneak away from him. He's not acting particularly stressed out, so that's good. I threw over some bedding hay, and this is just hay that the bales broke when we were putting up hay this year, so it's good hay, so he's actually eating it. And I'll get him some water in just a little bit if this works out. But he's got grain, he's got hay. He's got my jacket on. He's got the heater on. I turned on the radio for him so he'd have something to listen to. So I'll check back in with him in a few minutes to see if this will work for this afternoon. Okay, and I'm going to go show you guys our project. Just stay. Just stay. Okay, so this is the project. You can kind of see the cats. Winifred is right over here. Onslow is just going over there. Onslow! What are you doing? What are you doing, weirdo? Onslow is actually standing in the other project. Onslow, what are you doing? What are you doing? They've been kind of cooped up this last week. So it's been really cold. And they don't really generally do anything when we let them out when it's cold. They usually go over to the garage and then they stand there until we come to put them back in the barn. Even though they could have just stayed in the barn and been fine, but whatever. So, and the foxes have been really bold this last week. I've had to chase foxes out of the horse field this week. The other night they were like barking in front of the house. We actually brought the dogs outside at like 11:30 in the evening and to chase the foxes away from the house. And I was out here doing water. I think it was Wednesday at like 4:30 in the afternoon. And a fox ran right by me, middle of the day. And I was probably like 50 feet from the barn. So don't love that for the cats. So we've just been mostly keeping them in the barn. And I've turned on their heated cat beds and they're fine. But that's actually something I'm going to be working on probably today is I'm going to put some shelves in the goat maternity ward so that they have spaces they can climb up by the windows. But I am up here and this is actually going to be the next project that we work on together. So it's going to be this huge structure that is taking up about probably about a third of the space upstairs in the barn. And so I'm going to be taking this apart. Let me flip you around so you can see. Okay. This is coming down. It's kind of hard to get a good shot of it, but it has multiple rooms. So there's really 3 big rooms in this. There's that room on this side, this front room, and then there's one room in the back. And it does have a roof, a tin roof. And so it is all hardware cloth around the outside and plywood. And I had just put up tarp last year because we had chicks in here actually. So it needs to come down. We need the hay storage. And when I look at this, you know what I see? I see canning shelves in my basement, which I really, really, really want. So this lumber, especially you can see these boards are going to be the supports for shelving. And then all the plywood around the outside, I'm going to use as the bottoms for the shelves. So really looking forward to that. So this needs to come down. It will give us more hay storage. And then I can repurpose this wood and hardware cloth. I might save the hardware cloth for future rabbit cages. I'm not quite sure yet. I kind of want to get back into meat rabbits. Let me flip you around. So I do kind of want to get back into meat rabbits. It's been, of course, then the cats go up there. It's been a while since I've done meat rabbits, and while we do think at some point we will probably have meat birds again, meat rabbits are sometimes just so much easier to do. And I've got space in the barn for it. So I will probably be alternating depending on how long this project takes me to take this down between that and building a new poultry space, which I'll go over later with you guys. But it's kind of a shame it's so cold out here because this is a perfect job to work on right now. This area is lit, so there's no reason why I can't spend evenings in here working on this. So it will kind of come down in a couple of steps. We did have poultry in here. Before poultry, we had the kittens in here first. This is where they started out in the barn. We had them in this space for probably the better part of the first summer we were here. So that would have been summer 2023. And then we kind of made it so that they couldn't get out from upstairs in the barn. So they spent their first year essentially up here. Then we moved them downstairs. So they associate the barn with home. And then after we had the cats in here, we had chicks in here. We actually put our first round, I think we had 60 chicks. We put them in here and that worked great. And I never cleaned up after the chicks. So there's still bedding in here that needs to be removed. I thought about doing that first, but honestly, I think it will be easier to do that once the walls are down. And then I can just bring like I might try to get the wheelbarrow up here. I don't know yet. And then I'll get out the bedding. So, but I think I've been kind of like working out in my mind how I want to take this apart. I think the roof needs to come down first. So I'm sure that they did that because even though like the barn has a roof, they put a roof on this and it's a tin roof. So the previous owners made this to store buckwheat in. And so it had to be rodent proof and it had to be dry. So I'm sure that's why they put a second ceiling on it. That's why it's also, the whole thing is wrapped in hardware cloth because they couldn't have mice getting into this. And so it is very secure. I think I'm going to start from the outside in. I'm pretty sure that's how they constructed it. I might have to take the plywood from the inside out first. I just don't know yet. But I need to slowly start taking this apart. So I'm going to take you guys along with me on this. And I'm really excited for using this wood to make shelving in our basement for all of our canned goods and like dry storage. And I'll be taking you guys on that too. Very excited to have an actual dedicated canning larder room in our basement. That was like the first thing I thought of when we viewed this house was this basement is perfect for having a canning room. I have wanted a canning storage room for so long and I'm very excited to get this done because right now I've just been storing our canning stuff on a couple tables down in the basement and that's been okay. But this is going to be such an upgrade for us. I am very excited for this. And this is actually really nice lumber. So this will be perfect for canning room. And then whatever I have left over, I've got plans for it. You know, nothing will go to waste here. So I'm excited to take you guys along on this.